Welcome to the Unapologetic with Janine McKinnon podcast, helping you step more fully into your feminine, unapologetic authenticity. I'm your host, Janine McKinnon, confidence and sexual empowerment coach, who went from the trenches of 2 kids under 2 years old, feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, disconnected, and resentful, to creating a life I'm obsessed with, full of passion, presence, pleasure, and playfulness. I love myself, I love my marriage, I love my kids, and I love my life. And I want to help you feel the same level of love and fulfillment in your life. Here you can find inspiration and tools taken from my one-on-one coaching sessions and group experiences to support you in your journey. We'll cover things like societal conditioning, inner child healing, women's empowerment, and tantric and Taoist principles to inspire you to live a life you love while embodying your feminine, unapologetic authenticity, and in doing so, creating a ripple effect throughout your life, your family, and everyone you interact with. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful we're able to connect in this way, and I can't wait to dig into the contents of this episode with you. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to a Tuesday transmission episode inside the Unapologetic with Janine McKinnon podcast. And so what is on my mind today is a bit of an aha that came to me recently. We are getting ready for a road trip, doing some planning for it, and we have had a few summer vacations. We have some other things on the books that we are planning, and it's really come to me that the way you plan, prepare, and enjoy and live out your vacation is a really big representation of where you're at in terms of how supported and connected you feel with your partner, with your family, with yourself. It represents your capacity to rest, to have fun, to enjoy pleasure. And I thought that this would just be a great space to really dig into that a little bit more. And as we dig into it, I'm going to take us back a few years. I'm thinking like 4 years ago. I remember going on different small trips, nothing too special, probably like little one-nighters, maybe day trips, potentially 2 nights. And I just remember feeling so alone in the preparation. Perhaps this is something you can identify with, whether you're there now or you've been there in the past. But it felt like the preparing for it, like I was all on my own. Like I was doing everything myself. No one else knew what to do or how to do it right. And I was just plugging away, getting everything done, completely exhausting myself, being awake for hours and hours, just getting all of those little bits done, making sure everyone was packed, that food was prepared, that the house was ready, this and that and the other thing. And as I was going through it, I would get so resentful and so angry and like really be heated by this, yet I wouldn't really ask for help. Perhaps I might snap about something, but that was about it. And so that preparing part, it was really representative of how not supported and not connected I felt in general. And then in terms of actually living out that vacation or that holiday time, it was exhausting. Like it felt so run down, and it was like doing things for the sake of doing things, saying yes to all of the things, and just being super tired, trying to make it work for the family or for whatever it was. Perhaps the kids had some fun, or they were even super tired and overstimulated, and it was basically all in all not that enjoyable and completely exhausting, and feeling like we needed a vacation from the vacation. Sound familiar? I feel like I've heard that time and time again. And so I see that as a really big representation for me in that space of that lack of boundaries, that lack of really speaking up for what felt right for myself and for our family. We would just go along with the flow, even if it meant we would exhaust ourselves, overstimulate the kids. Perhaps in those instances, the kids would have fun, but I wouldn't necessarily have fun. And I really had that big disconnect with myself, that disconnect with my inner child. I wouldn't necessarily relax and just receive and rest and play and receive that pleasure. And so it's just this big, exhausting, resentful, tired thing. And it was like something that we wanted to do and like felt like the thing to do. But when you really zoom out and look at it, it really wasn't like the most enjoyable thing overall. Like some good memories in there for sure, but overall, there's definitely room for improvement there. Fast forward to now, I feel like it has just completely shifted. And again, that's very representative of like how supportive and connected I feel and how I am able to really like drop in and have fun and just enjoy things and rest for the sake of resting. And so what I think about in our recent summer things that we've had going on is how much my husband and I feel like a team. Like it took work to get here, but now we're at the point where we don't even have to like delegate or anything like that. We're both in our zone. We both know what needs to get done. We make sure it gets done. If we finish something and have some extra space, we check in, like, what else can I do? Or I see this needs to be done, or the other one of us will ask each other, and it just goes so smoothly, and we have time to like check in, see how each other's feeling, be connected, like make sure we can go walk the dog. And even though sometimes like it runs late and we're doing things until 10 or whatever at night, it feels supported and connected through that preparing stage. And sure, there might be like a little bit of tired frustration slipped in here and there. That's life. But overall, like it's fun and teamwork and just a lot greater of a connection and really feeling that support. Like there is no resentment building and that heat and that anger. There's none of that. It's honestly just like such a relief and almost, I wouldn't necessarily say rekindle because it's not that it's kindled, but it just like burns that love and connection even more, seeing how well we're able to teamwork things. And then when it comes to the actual vacations of doing whatever it might be, maybe it's a weekend at the lake. And I find now, again, we're able to have so much fun. Like I'm able to play with the kids, not just facilitate their playing or go along with what they want to play for the sake of it, not necessarily enjoying myself. Like personally, I'm not a big imaginative play person. It's just not my thing. And like I'll kind of try to do it for my kids, but now I've learned to divert it into something that we can really have fun doing. And so with that, like I really am able to let my inner child just play and have fun and really enjoy those simple moments, and being able to soak that up as well, being able to feel that joy and that love and take that time to really sit with it, to be present with it, allows time to stand still and to really fuel yourself with that. So there isn't necessarily that exhaustion, that like needing the vacation from the vacation because you're so tired, because you are able to really fill yourself with just that energy of that joy and love and connection by being really present with it. And likewise, it goes for being okay to just rest for the sake of resting rather than keeping busy because you feel like you need to stay busy, or being able to teamwork meals with other people because you are okay. It doesn't need to be done perfectly. Having that support to actually do it with you feels so much better than doing it alone. And so you're able to receive that support, receive that help, and therefore receive that nourishment through that connection and the community of doing things together. And so it really is a beautiful thing. And so what I encourage you through this transmission is to really take a step back and think about where you feel you land on that spectrum. Those are kind of two of the major endpoints. And of course, there's further endpoints, and there's lots of room in the middle there, depending where you're at in your journey. And think about how it feels. Like, are you somewhere where you are fighting and so angry, and you get in the car and it's that awkward silence driving to the destination because you all just lost your shit on just getting ready to get there? Or are things smooth and you really want to take a moment to recognize how far you've come, how supported you feel? Or perhaps you're somewhere in the middle. Perhaps you're in that clunky, messy middle, and you can see how far you've come in some ways while also recognizing, hey, there's some other things we can do, and this is what we get to work towards. That taking that time to communicate more, taking that time to have those connection points with each other amongst the craziness and the planning and the chaos, because chaos can still happen and busyness still happens, but there's different ways that we can navigate it. And when we take that time to check in, we're able to navigate it a little bit more smoothly. And that communication pays off. Taking the time to speak your needs and desires and teach each other what needs to be done in different ways, because just because you might think things need to be done in a certain way, chances are your partner has a list of things that need to be done in a certain way too, that you might not even be aware of. So when you're able to be open to that and really collaborate together, that's where that teamwork really begins to blossom. And the same goes for your time actually vacationing and doing those fun things. I really invite you to take a moment to see if you are more that facilitator, so that your family can have the fun and you're really supporting that space, which is a beautiful thing to do. There's absolutely no shame in that. That is a beautiful gift you are giving to your family. And also, is there space to really bring that much fun and play and enjoyment for yourself? Or are you already there? And so taking the time to just recognize that, see where you are, really celebrate yourself for where you're at, because I'm sure it's different from where you were just a few years ago. And also take some time to think, okay, how can we get even more of this? How can things become smoother and more supported and more connected? So we can really all have those fun, incredible vacations that we don't need a vacation from afterward, where we actually fill our cups up so much as a family that we can come back feeling refreshed and energized and able to just breathe this new life, this new energy into our work or our school or our home or passions, whatever it may be. Because that's what vacations are really all about. Those memories, that enjoyment, and also that break from the norm and being able to feel refreshed and revitalized and be able to bring that back into the day-to-day. And if you are someone that is more on that farther side of feeling like you're really struggling with some of these things, feeling like you're caught up in that do-it-yourself loop, that you don't have people to help you, they don't know how to help you, I'm here to chat, like no pressure at all, but I just want you to feel the support and connection that is available for you. You have a loving family and they want to be there for you, but it likely is that you guys just don't really quite know how to fit together to have that true support and connection. And I'd love to be able to help you with that. So feel free to shoot me a DM at janine.mckinnon or send me an email, info@janinemckinnon.com. I would love to chat. And if you're someone who is feeling like things are so smooth and you're loving every minute of it and coming back super vitalized, seriously celebrating you and cheering you on. Thank you so much for listening. Wishing you an incredible week. And I will be back on Thursday with our Unapologetic Stories episode with Dominique DeVita from Yes Tantra. It is such a fun episode where we dig into so much of the energetics when it comes to Tantra and being able to connect with ourselves and our deep presence and really being able to tap into our emotions and alchemize our emotions. And it's this beautiful topic, and I feel like my work within Tantra and Taoism is what has really paved the way for vacations to completely flip around, to be able to feel that support and that connection. It's because I have been able to tap in to my emotions, tap into my energy body, see what's needed, and to be able to build that connection and that fulfillment from there. So it's a super fun episode. Make sure you come back on Thursday to listen to that, and just wishing you an amazing week. Until next time, take care. Thank you for joining us inside the Unapologetic with Janine McKinnon podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you feel called, I would so appreciate it if you shared about this episode in your stories or left us a review to help us reach more women in their unapologetic authenticity journey. Until next time, trust your inner wisdom and make some magic.